Hello artists, let's be real. A lot of us who are young or starting out are really anxious about how we're supposed to make money out of our art and all dream of having a garden like Joachim Soroya, a pond like Claude Monet, or a house like Pierre Bonnard. Well, those guys never had the internet. And in today's world, there's actually never been more opportunities for artists to make money out of their hard work. So I'm going to show you 15 ways you can make money as an artist. And the first is something that I believe every single creative person on the planet should be doing, and that is content creation. The reason I put content creation as number one is because even if you are nowhere, no one knows who you are, you don't have a single follower, this is how you begin. Really documenting your journey as an artist in a meaningful way can grow you an audience where in the future they might be interested in supporting you in different ways. If a quiet introvert like myself can grow a YouTube channel, use it as a means to make some money and sell some work, then so can you. The great thing I love about YouTube is once you have a bank of videos that are all gaining views and you have a monetized channel, that's a source of passive income for you, and the more successful videos you create, the more that passive income will build up. And that leads me on to the next two possible sources of income, that being affiliate links and sponsors. These two very much tie into the first point I made because you're going to need some kind of an audience to get clicks on your affiliate links and also attract some sponsors. For anyone who doesn't know what an affiliate link is, it's a personalized link where you can earn a commission if someone purchases the product or service you're promoting. So for example, in my description box, I have affiliate links for both TubeBuddy and Epidemic Sound, which are services that I both use myself to help run this channel. If anyone purchases a subscription through those links, I get a small cut of that, so a big thank you to anyone who does. As for sponsors, I actually had my first sponsored YouTube video last month, and I have a good idea of the kind of companies I want to be working with going forward. Skillshare, Notion, Winsor & Newton, please notice me. Once you start growing in your niche, there's a chance that these sponsors might reach out to you depending on the type of videos you make, but you can also reach out to them, propose them an idea for a video, a script, or something along the lines that will really convince them that sponsoring you will be a great idea. The kind of money you can make from sponsorships can be anything from a few £100s to a few £1,000s plus, depending on the size of your audience. Number four is digital products, and I've actually seen a lot of digital artists sell their brush sets for, say, for example, Photoshop, for Procreate, their Photoshop files to give you a breakdown of the layers of how they work. What's great about digital products is you basically have infinite stock that you don't need to keep in any sort of physical space, and you can even run and sell your digital products on a platform that isn't even your own, so you don't actually need an online store. Recently, I've created my own kind of store on a popular site called Gumroad, where you basically just sign up and link a payment method to get started. For my first product, I've put together a very practical startup guide for artists looking to get into content creation and specifically tailored it towards YouTube. I go over how I started my channel, the mistakes I made along the way, and exactly what kind of skills you should be learning to go forward and create high quality, meaningful content that builds an audience. If you're interested, the link will be in the description box. We are now going to travel from the digital reality back to the physical. And of course, the obvious thing would be selling original works. The big question is how. Let's start with the different ways that you can sell work through a gallery, because when you're young, all of this stuff feels like super secretive. If you're looking at blue chip galleries, basically galleries that sell high-end art, and if you expect them to even glance at you, it's just not going to happen early, so focus on more practical ways to get exposure for your work first. If you've just graduated from your degree or your master's, you might want to look at applying to group exhibitions if you feel like your work is ready to take on the world. Usually a group exhibition will fall under some sort of theme, so the artists exhibited, their work will, I guess, really work well together. A really fun group exhibition that is extremely popular here in London every year is the Royal Academy of Art's summer exhibition. This year the theme is climate, and actually one of my previous tutors, Gethin Evans, has a work currently on show called Toxic Beauty. Personally, in my opinion, it is a very juicy painting. If you can't get into a group exhibition through applying, then you could also actually hire out a gallery space with all of your artist friends and put on your own group exhibition. Last month, I had a small show at a place called The Tub in Hackney, and I managed to sell one of my small gouache pieces there. I put on the show with some previous classmates I'd met, so I guess depending on how much work you sell and how expensive the space is, you can still make profit and make some money from selling your art there. And finally, from the gallery section, we're going to talk about every artist's dream, a solo exhibition. How does one come to even achieve this spectacular feat? Well, actually, the previous point comes into play because a well-received group exhibition can actually be a means of you getting a solo show with a gallery. If the right eyes fall on your work when you are exhibiting alongside others, there's a chance that a gallery may approach you and offer you a solo show if usually they believe they can make a lot of money out of your work. This can happen at end of year shows, whether that be degree, but it's more common to see this in postgraduate degree shows as the work tends to be at a higher level and ready for the market. Now that we're done with galleries, let's move on to prints, because prints can be an incredible source of income for artists. I've seen artists such as Jeong Jing on Instagram use prints as a primary source of their income. And the great thing about prints is that it's possible to get high quality prints for an affordable price and then sell them to your audience for a price that's significantly less than your originals. It's a win for both you and your collectors. Recently, I did my own set of prints with Art Foresight and they came out really well. I'll be excited to do more once I work out what the hell I'm doing with my life. But enough of that physical stuff. Let's jump right back into the digital and sell some NFTs. Yeah, I had to throw in an NFT joke somewhere. If you don't know anything about NFTs, you can go Google, because I'm not too much aware of the space. Google if you dare. Jokes aside, the next source of income for you could be from creating and selling courses. Whether that be a detailed course on your style of oil painting, teaching people how to sculpt with a certain material, or how to put a shark in a tank, creating courses and uploading them to platforms such as Skillshare and Udemy can work very well. Bear in mind, before making a course, you obviously need to be really good at the thing that you're trying to teach. And on top of that, have some good production quality or understand how to make very high quality video content. But if making videos or putting courses together isn't really your sort of thing, you can sell your time as a mentor or do some tutoring. It's basically how I survived in China for a couple of years. It can be quite rewarding to see how your students evolve over time. You can have a look or research in your local area to see if there is anyone looking for some kind of creative lessons. There tends to always be parents looking for some kind of creative outlet for the kids too. So if you want to deal with some little demons, you can do that too. The next money-making machine I'm going to talk about is Patreon. For anyone who doesn't know, Patreon is a website where you can create exclusive content for those who choose to subscribe to you and pay a monthly fee. I've seen Patreon work incredibly well for artists. Sam Does Arts being an insanely successful example of how well this can be done. He's earning an absolute minimum of 10,000 a month at the moment, releasing Procreate brushes and tutorials each month. Once again, the catch here is you need some form of an audience that is after the information that you're providing or want to really support you. So content creation. But the idea here is to basically provide your audience with something different that you are not normally doing on other platforms. This could be a peek behind the scenes, casual or more detailed process videos, some vlogs if you're not a vlogger, giving access to some digital products like brushes or ebooks, and even creating a full course with new tutorials releasing every month like Ross Draws did with his bootcamp. You can obviously get really creative with this, but you just want to really provide some value for those who are willing to break the bank for you every month. Now, the last three I'm going to go through are options where if your art has got to a mature enough stage or you've just graduated from your degree or master's, you want to kind of go out into the world and start trying to get eyes on your work. These last three are going to be good for you. Now, the first of these three I'm going to talk about are art prizes. This will differ depending on what stage of your career you are at, even how old you are, how close to graduation you are. The type of prize you can apply for will depend on what you do as an artist, whether you are a painter, a sculptor, a printmaker, and so on. So come here, because I'm about to give you an insanely good tip on how you can create a list of art prizes that you should be looking at, monitoring and applying for. So what you need to do is pull up some online postgraduate exhibitions or go to the websites of your favorite contemporary artists and find where they've posted a list of the art prizes they've been awarded with. Before you know it, you'll have a long list of art prizes that you can apply for every year and potentially win the usually thousands of pounds when it comes to prizes that will really help support your artistic practice. Next, we'll look at artist residencies, which is basically like a space or institution that wants artists to come and work in a specific location. You usually receive some form of funding or payment while you are there, and they can be quite common in universities, so that, for example, students have access to an artist who is working in a certain space over an amount of time. But you also have other kinds of like special residencies, such as the one that the artist Flora Jokanovic did at Victoria Miro in Venice. So look up what kind of residencies are going in your local area or where you can travel to, but also look for opportunities that might even take you abroad. The final source of income I'm going to speak about is art fairs. Now, art fairs have become an insanely popular business model for galleries, because it's like, oh, let's just throw all of this artwork in a single area and get a load of people that are just gonna come and buy things left, right and center. Art fairs are where the magic happens, like the Art Basel banana. But let's be real, most of us don't have like a few $100,000 to splash on one of those booths in those kind of really popular big blue chip, I don't know if I could call it a blue chip art fair. You're probably going to want to look at smaller art fairs more locally to you, which will be a more affordable opportunity for you to get some eyes on your work and potentially sell a few pieces. Regardless of whether you are a fine artist or an illustrator, there will be opportunities for you to present your work in an affordable way that could potentially bring in some collectors or customers for you. So that's it for my 15 ways to make money as an artist. As you can see throughout this video, I've spoken a lot about kind of growing a meaningful audience. Every artist needs a kind of a collector base that wants to support them and buy their work and is interested in what they're doing. So do check out my guide for content creation if you're interested in starting up on YouTube or beginning this process yourself. And if not, then click here for more secrets that artists appear to keep to themselves. And finally, here is my awkward goodbye.